While bombs were still exploding in Donetsk, missiles were still flying over Kharkiv, and soldiers from both sides had to run before breakfast. In a faraway place, there was a man who was once president, who had caused a storm with the phrase, "Make America Great Again," now continued to cause a storm with a new statement. We need a ceasefire. 30 days. Whoever shoots loses the right to use the 5G network. Yes, you heard right. On May 8, Donald Trump made the world look up to the sky when he proposed a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine. No conditions, no procedures, no notarized documents. All it took was for both Russia and Ukraine to say okay and lay down their guns like laying down an ex-lover. But is this a historic turning point? Or just a Trump-esque election PR stunt? A diplomatic coup? Or is he simply testing out his new TikTok app with the world president filter? Welcome to today's video. Trump proposes ceasefire in Ukraine. Peace in 30 days or just the American dream? Join us in this story that is both political and Hollywood trailer-like. To understand why Trump's ceasefire proposal has raised eyebrows around the world and NATO on the phone, we have to step back a bit. Not much, just more than 10 years of conflict, 2 revolutions, 1 annexation of Crimea, and tens of thousands of artillery shells flying back and forth every day. A quick history for busy people. 2014. Russia annexes Crimea. The West protests. Russia says, Crimea volunteered. There's video evidence. 2014-2021. The war smolders in Donbass. Separatists get oxygen from Russia. Ukraine gets a pat on the back from NATO. 2020-22. Russia officially launches a full-scale offensive. The world is stunned. Gas prices soar. And since then, no one has stopped. If the war in Ukraine were a soap opera, this would be the kind of show where every season brings new weapons and a villain who suddenly switches sides. But in reality, war is not a game. More than 500,000 people have been killed or injured. Tens of millions have been forced to flee their homes. The world economy is in turmoil. And especially, Europeans are refusing to take hot baths due to lack of gas. In that context, the proposal for a 30-day ceasefire sounds like 2 boxers are going at each other, and someone walks in and says, "Hey, let's take a break. Want some orange juice?" And that person is none other than Donald Trump, with his diplomatic experience accumulated from 1 term as president, 2 meetings with Kim Jong-un, and about 9,000 tweets deleted by old Twitter. The question is, against such a grim historical backdrop, does the 30-day peace proposal have any place? Or is it just part of Trump's Make Ukraine Chill Again campaign? On May 8, 2025, at a campaign rally in Ohio, surrounded by thousands of supporters and signs reading Trump 2024, Make Peace Go Viral, Donald Trump suddenly announced a plan that made the world silent for a few seconds. Trump said, "If I were president, the war in Ukraine would end within 30 days. I would call Putin, call Zelensky, and they would agree. Believe me, they respect me." It sounds like a script from a Netflix series called Miraculous Diplomacy. No conditions, no intermediaries, no legal documents, and especially, no Secretary of State. And here's the key point that has experts both puzzled and smiling. There is no official document, no diplomatic communique. The world only knows about this plan through a speech and a viral clip on TikTok with the caption, "Trump promises to end war like canceling Netflix trial." International reaction. Ukraine. Reaction was reserved. "We haven't received any proposals, except for memes from Americans," said an advisor. Russia. Silence. But Kremlin spokesman smiled gently, like, thanks, but no thanks. NATO called an emergency meeting to consider the seriousness of the proposal. During lunch break, what do analysts say? Some call it Trump-style campaign rhetoric. Loud, bold, easygoing, like selling on livestream. Others say that if Trump wins in 2024 or 2025, if history turns the page, he will likely put real pressure on Ukraine and Russia with promises to cut aid or expand economic deals. So the question is this a real peace solution? Or is it some kind of Trump-branded vote baiting? It's like ordering a pizza at midnight. It sounds convenient, but the next morning, you're left with a bit of a stomachache. As soon as Mr. Trump proposed a 30-day ceasefire, as if he were ordering something from Amazon Prime, Politicians, international experts, and security organizations immediately jumped up in shock. 1. Reaction from Ukraine. A senior official who spoke anonymously because he did not want to be removed from the weapons supply list shared. We are not against peace, but at least there should be an official email, not a Facebook status. An advisor to Zelensky said bluntly, President Trump can call, but if he calls at lunchtime, we will not listen. 2. Reaction from Russia. The Kremlin has not yet made an official statement, but Russian media has already lightly and cheerfully reported Trump is still very interesting, and at least he talked to Putin without sanctions. A pro-Kremlin scholar commented on television, if Trump comes back, we will have more reasons to turn on the TV. 3. Reactions from NATO and EU. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg did not mention Trump by name, but stressed peace cannot come from campaign promises alone. Meanwhile, an EU leader accidentally said the truth on Twitter, later deleted. We are meeting about the ceasefire that was announced by a former president on a vertical video. 2. Reaction from Russia. The Kremlin has not yet made an official statement, but Russian media has already lightly and cheerfully reported Trump is still very interesting, and at least he talked to Putin without sanctions. A pro-Kremlin scholar commented on television, if Trump comes back, we will have more reasons to turn on the TV. After all the bombshell statements and global backlash, the final and most important question remains, what does Trump really want when he proposes a 30-day ceasefire in Ukraine? Because, frankly, he is not running the government, nor does he represent the Pentagon, and certainly is not the spokesman for NATO. Scenario 1. Just throw rocks into the lake campaign tactics. Mr. Trump is preparing for re-election, and the war in Ukraine is a hot topic, making American voters tired. According to recent surveys, more than 60% of Americans want the government to reduce spending on foreign aid. And Trump, in his say what people are thinking but don't dare say style, launched a solution that sounds simple, quick, a slogan, I'll solve it in 30 days. No war, no Biden, just me. It sounds like an ad for acne medication. Long war? Don't worry. With Trump, the infection will go away in 4 weeks. Scenario 2. Trump wants to reshape the image of international leadership. During his first term, Trump met Kim Jong-un, became close friends with Putin, and repeatedly called NATO an obsolete organization. Now, with a proposal for a global ceasefire, he wants to reaffirm himself as the only person who can phone peace. It can be said that Trump wants to become a peace broker in the eyes of the world, at least before the election. Scenario 3. Biden's foreign policy preemptive strike. The Biden administration is actively supporting Ukraine, pushing for aid packages, and maintaining the NATO alliance. With a sudden ceasefire proposal, Trump not only puts himself in the role of a peacemaker, but also puts Biden on the defensive. If Biden opposes the ceasefire plan, he will be labeled as wanting the war to continue. If he supports it, then Trump gets points. This is the I set the table, whoever eats it scores points for me type of political trick. It's like you host a party, someone else invites guests, then you step in at the last moment just to cut the cake. Scenario 4. Jamming the media, taking over the international airwaves. We all know Trump is a master at manipulating the media. In a week full of news about war, inflation, and the migrant crisis, he took over the global spotlight with just a 20-second statement. And the press, from CNN, Fox to BBC, RT, all gave him free coverage. No one understands the American media better than Trump. He doesn't need to buy ads, just says a shocking line. The rest is up to the reporters. Whether you love Trump or hate him, you have to admit one thing. He still knows how to make the whole world pick up the phone. So, diving into Donald Trump's 30-day ceasefire proposal, we've gone from surprise to amazement to bewilderment to something familiar. Because with Trump, the absurd sometimes becomes strategy. Ukraine is as cautious as someone reading a text message from an ex. Russia is silent as if listening to music but hasn't found a song to its liking. The EU and NATO are shrugging their shoulders like, again? Biden is probably having a bigger headache than remembering the White House's Netflix password. And Trump? He's still tweeting, speaking, campaigning, as if he's proposing world peace, while selling 30% off t-shirts. The war in Ukraine is one of the greatest tragedies of the 20th century, and any attempt to reduce casualties and open the door to negotiations deserves serious consideration. However, it cannot be a tweet-and-go game, nor can it be part of a campaign to promote American flag polo shirts. If this is Trump's test for the next term, it's safe to say he still knows how to throw the ball in the middle of the court, forcing the world to react. But real peace? It will take more than a statement, more than a live stream campaign, and a lot of coffee to negotiate. Now, if you think Trump's ceasefire proposal makes sense, remember, drink water, stay positive, and check your sources. And if you think it's absurd, don't worry. It's only the 5th month of 2025, and there's a lot more weirdness ahead. Thank you for watching until the end. If you found this video informative, thought-provoking, or just made you understand the world a little better, be sure to like the video, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any more humorous political analysis, and share it with your friends, especially those who think Trump is going to win the Nobel Peace Prize.